Hello and welcome to Sacred Foundation September 2022 reading. I'm Julia Frainer here with my good friend, my sister, my partner in crime, Jill Chesrow. We are so happy that you are here. This is going to be another good one. What do you think, Jill?
Yeah, there's a lot of information here, so I'm excited to unpack it with you.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
This reading is for the highest and greatest good of everyone who comes here. What do we need to know as we step into this month, leaning deeper into the month? Yeah, Jill, you want to just share the usual that you're so good at?
Yes. All right. So first of all, obviously, we invite you to take what resonates with you and let the rest go, or put it on a mental shelf and revisit it if you feel called to. So Julia and I each bring through what we're seeing and what intuitively is standing out for us. A lot of times that kind of works together really nicely, and other times there's different perspectives and stuff coming through. So parts of the reading of what Julia says and parts of what I say, again, may or may not resonate with you. So we're just bringing through the information as we're interpreting it. We want to invite you to, because in a minute, we'll flash up the cards. So we want you to see what stands out for you, what visual images on the cards themselves from the artwork stand out for you, the titles of the cards, the colors that you notice, stuff like that. Pay attention, because your intuition is speaking to you and you're going to be getting the messages and the insight that is most beneficial to you at this time on your journey. Even though we're doing this reading in September of 2022, yes, it's geared for this moment in time. And we know that there really is no space and time at the quantum field. So if you come across this video in a couple months or, a couple of years, the message when you're receiving it is beneficial to you. So yes, it's for September 2022. However, it also is timeless. So keep that in mind. We'll ask you at different points in time, just to really, again, tune into your own inner wisdom, take notes. We want this reading to serve you. So we don't want it to just be information. We want you to be able to pull out some possible action steps or specific contemplation points or topics or whatever. So again, this is geared to help you develop and or deepen your sacred foundation so you can move through your journey of life from the greatest point of empowerment that serves you and then benefits others, because you are standing in your own personal sacred foundation. We are using the Cross of Truth Oracle card spread. It's a 5-card reading. In this case, there's 6 cards because Julia had 2 that popped out. And each card has each position has a specific meaning that we'll talk about as we go through it. But we want to always look at it as a whole at the end. Okay, Jules, anything else I'm missing?
Nope, I think we're good. Feeling good.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. Okay. I don't know how to get rid of that. Okay, there we go. Oops. All right. Julia, do you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah, I will. I would love to go first. So I think I need to just open up and say that this is take 2, and rarely do Jill and I do a second take, but I started at the intro and then kind of just like boom, 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 things are coming through to me, and this happens, and they still keep coming through because we just pulled the cards right before we hit record, and I think that is what's continuing, and I apologize for that as well. There's still insights coming through on this reading, and so we're just going to kick off. I know the first card is Grace of Presence, and the number 1 card is the present theme, what's currently happening, the invitation. I'm going to call it an invitation. The invitation through this card is asking us to be in presence. And when we are present in the present moment, and that really is stopping, pausing, listening. And in the card, if you pulled it up, she's got a little hummingbird. And it was interesting when Jill and I first got on and started our chit chat like we always do. I had a hummingbird right out this window, right out here. So I knew that there was a message. So these two hummingbirds are right there in her ear. And part of being present, part of communication is listening, and it's listening to the self, most importantly. Often people will, I even do it. Last weekend I did it, where I just turned the TV on to mindless sound to kind of overtake what is happening in my head, and then that whole distraction is happening. Grace of presence calls us into the moment, into the now, and asks us to simply listen. And it is that subtleness, the quietness, that brings us to the grace. So there is grace in presence, but it's reciprocal because presence brings us into grace. I also love that she's holding the world. She's got the moon, but it's also a halo. I look at it as a moon. The harvest moon is this weekend. We're talking communication. Mercury goes retrograde on the 9th. The harvest moon is on the 10th. There's a lot of power here in just this card. And then that grace of presence is she's holding the earth. And I'm going to touch back on that when we get to the 5th card. The second card is shine brightly. And as I'm preparing for a retreat this weekend, I'm thinking of the harvest moon, and a little, for drum circle, a harvest moon chant came to me. Harvest moon, big and bright, my true north, shine your light. And so that here, we've got the sunflower, which is very prominent in this time as we're approaching autumn equinox. The second card is the hopes and fears. What I want to tie this into is that each of us at the essence of our core, at the anahata, the heart space, the unstruck place, the part that can never be damaged, there's a part within us that light is always there. You are lit up. And you, each of us, get to decide how brightly we shine. And as we approach this month and the coming months, as we continue to raise our awareness, as we wake up more at a soulful level, to shine bright is what we're calling to do, regardless. Clear skies, sunny skies, blue skies in this card, it's incredibly beautiful. So as it ties into hopes and fears, stay hopeful, come back to the grace of presence where you receive grace, and then you can move forward even greater, even farther. The third position is your helpful energy. And this is where I had two cards come out, Shaman Dreaming and Lightest Heart. So let's go to Lightest Heart. Again, we just talked about that heart chakra, that anahata, the unstruck place. Stay light. Allow your true, authentic self to shine. Doesn't mean to bypass and go, woohoo, everything is great and fabulous and wonderful. But what it does ask you to do is to access the soul, access your inner wisdom, that cauldron of wisdom, and the inner child, and keep the heart light. Is what you're carrying yours to carry? Is it someone else's? Is it something that you can bless, you can pray for? It doesn't have to weigh you down. And as we collectively lighten our hearts in the full awareness of things that are happening around us or individually in our communities, keeping that light heart is very powerful. And then Shaman Dreaming. This is a beautiful card. This card is, it's about calling the ancestors to assist us. So if you're familiar with journey work is a little bit, is different than meditation. And I won't go into all of that, but journey work in the lower worlds is a place where we can meet our ancestors. Those that are here to guide and assist us. And I think that we're being called, I like to think of the grandmothers at a collective level are our ancestors. The grandmothers, if you know, many grandmothers are very wise. Not every older person earns the right to be an elder. It's those that are wise. And these are the ancestors that are calling us to meet us, to offer us from the unseen world in this world, to work through us. I think it's very, 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 very helpful and powerful. I think that it's interesting, if there's an obstacle card, it would be Flourish. And again, we have the sun and the moon and earth. This ties in, I think, with the idea of shining brightly. And what could the obstacle be by not flourishing, by dimming your light? Well, there's a song, and the words of the song keep coming to me, be the light. Don't hide in the dark, you were meant to shine. And this card says just that, flourishing is you shining. Marianne Williamson's quote, this is just so incredible. This whole spread is just so close to what I've been working on this weekend, and maybe that's part of it. I don't know, but don't hide your light, let it shine. It serves everyone, including yourself, mostly yourself, when you shine strong. And then the outcome card, which is really a beautiful card, is one that everybody steps back and goes, oh, that's a little storms. But Jill's going to really touch on this as well, because I think this tied into her elements of mastery reading this week or this month. But for me, storms is these two trees are well rooted. They can handle whatever's coming, this or stave off whatever's coming. Like, we have so much magic and power within us when we access our truth, when we allow our true light, that essence, that soulful brilliance to shine. And when we do that collectively, consciously or unconsciously, we can weather anything, right? And we can stave off many things. So I love that whatever is coming your way, whatever is coming collectively, we have the ability to, through our prayers, through our meditations, through our contemplation, through shining our light, to bring it all back to the grace of presence, right? In other words, this is what happens when storms come. And when storms come, the grace of presence works. They work together. I think it's just incredibly beautiful. Thank you, Jill. I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, well, so that was awesome, Julia. So Julia really covered the essence and the core of the card reading. So we could just leave it at that and be totally fine. And I'd also like to just share a little bit of the way I'm seeing it. So I also want to just kind of remind people, if they've been following Sacred Foundations for a little while, or if you're new to me, we use two decks. We use the Awakening to Your Divine Self Oracle card deck, and we use the Priestesses of the New Earth Oracle card deck. So both decks are a collaboration of different artists from around the world. There are some artists that created images and messages in the first deck and the second deck, and then independent artists somewhere in one deck, somewhere in the second deck. I hope that makes sense. But regardless, the whole underlying energy essence of these two oracle card decks, as from the information that was given to me when we were going to create these decks, is that not only are they oracle card decks and each artist brought through their sacred medicine and message to share with others, but there's I'm going to use the word like a transmission of energy And when I say that, I don't want anyone to get nervous about it, because you will only receive what is beneficial for you. Okay. So know that your higher self really regulates any transmission that is coming into your frequency field. So know that. But energetically, the energy radiating off of these cards in and of themselves is amazing. So I really invite you to just look at the image of these cards and see what comes up for you, clairaudiently, claircognizant, clairsentient, clairvoyant. What do you feel? And just allow the beautiful, loving energy of these cards to just be in your energy field, because there is like an attunement and alignment just from the frequency of these cards alone. So having said that, and I'm going to repeat a little bit some of what Julia said, I'm going to look at these cards actually straight down the middle, and then I'm going to look at the helpful energy cards and the obstacle energy cards kind of in and of themselves. So with the grace of presence, right, there's that stillness that Julia said, and that really deep connection to your own higher wisdom. Being in there, sometimes when we get like way too scattered or whatever, we lose that ability to really kind of tune in. And right now we are being asked to call back our energy and just focus on our presence, right? Just tune into your heart. Know that you're connected to the above and the below. And even though you're part of this physical world, that you're a spiritual being having a physical expression. I can't remember Wayne Dyer's exact quote at this time, but we are in this world, but not of this world. But we are meant to be the higher expression of our true essence while in physical form. Sometimes we separate the two, but really they're both, right? We want to be that bridge. So as we move into the grace of presence, we shine brightly just by being in this sacred space, in this presence of the truth of who and what we are. Okay. So when you get into that place and you're shining brightly, the card of storms to me really symbolizes resiliency. Yes, things happen in this physical world. Things are not always sunshine and rainbows. We go through storms in our lives. But as Julia said, these trees in this card, they're rooted, they have deep roots. So no matter what, right, you want to bend and flow with whatever is happening. Some people love to dance in the rain. Some people thrive when they go through stormy times. So I'm not saying that's good, bad, right, or wrong, but to be able to move and flow when things are rough is awesome. It's also great to flourish when there aren't storms. So, we don't want to be addicted to drama either, but that's kind of going off on a tangent. But anyway, so we've got this grace of presence. We've got this inner connection to our divine self. We automatically radiate and shine brightly from this place, so that no matter what is happening around us, we know we have the resiliency and the strength to get through it. Okay, so that's great news. Now we can take the helpful energy cards and see what's going to help us as we navigate this journey at this time. And then we have the obstacle card. So when I'm looking at the helpful energy cards of Shaman Dreaming and Lightest Heart, I know, and Julia mentioned it, that ancestors are a huge part of the message in the Shaman Dreaming card. So we've got the help and assistance of our ancestors. And then I happen to know that part of the message for the Lightest Heart card talks about angels. So angels are mentioned in there. So we've got our ancestors and we've got angels helping to support us. So even just knowing that baseline is important. Julia mentioned shamanic journeying as a way to get deeper intuition and wisdom. So if you go on shamanic journeys and you're familiar with them, it may be helpful for you to do that at this time. Outside of that, just remember that your ancestors and your angels are here to support you at this time. Feel free to tap into that knowing and then receive any deeper messages that they have for you. When we look at the card Flourish as an obstacle, we see what I'm assuming is a beautiful woman with her arms up in the air, connected to both the conscious sun and the subconscious moon energy while she's connected to the earth. So as an obstacle, you want to look at, you know, do you feel grounded right now? Are you connected to both the above and the below? Are you too grounded? Are you too out there in the ethers? Because what you're going to want is really, you're going to want balance here. So you don't want your head in the clouds too much, and you don't want to be too grounded. So balance. Where's the balance in your life? Where is the harmony? Where is the connection? That can be an obstacle. And then she has her arm up, you know, her arms up. And absolute faith and trust really is the essence that I'm getting from that card. So are you trying to control things too much? Are you not surrendering to your inner wisdom and stuff? So if you're fighting against things too hard, that can absolutely positively be an obstacle. So Julia, did I say that in a way that makes sense? Do you think?
Yes, absolutely. And I saw so much more as you were sharing. So it's an incredible message. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. So then going back to the storms card, right? Because that's the answer outcome advice card. Again, we want to see resiliency, and we want to know that there's resiliency. We want to know that, you know, even if things are going to get a little stormy, you're going to be okay. You've got the tools that you need to be resilient at this time, and you're going to be perfectly fine. So know that your ancestors and your angels fully support you at this time. Now, I also want to, you know, just put in here, just because storms is the final card, that does not mean that there is going to be something in your personal life that feels or looks a little bit stormy. It can, it doesn't necessarily mean that, but the card in and of itself is, you know what, no matter what happens, you're going to be okay. And you've got the inner strength and the support around you to get through whatever's going on, whether it's in your personal life or in the collective as a whole. We will be okay as long as we move into that, that grace of presence, which is always, always available to us. So take a nice deep breath. And go ahead and just continue to reflect on the cards as you see fit. Come back to this reading and see if anything else stands out for you. And I personally invite you, just again, from an energetic frequency perspective, to just kind of sit with the images of the cards and feel into the transmission that is there available to you. So, all right, I'm going to stop the share. Wow. So the energy, Julia, that I felt coming through this is really kind of the energy that comes through when you do the meditation based on the cards, and I'll do the frequency work. There was a lot of that frequency work, which I can't say always happens when we do the reading. So that makes me think that, or know that there was just some powerful frequencies coming through.
Yes. I wanted to mention that I think it's interesting too that Shaman Dreaming and Storms are like on the same page of the book. So that just struck me as very interesting. Also, yes, Jill, thank you so much. I felt that frequency work too. So I hope that everyone who comes to this reading, that you follow Jill's recommendation to spend some time with the cards, and that you receive the power, the wisdom from these beautiful artists and the messages that are coming through their art. Thank you so much. We will see you in a week or so for our frequency and meditation.
All right. Bye, everybody.